Hello and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I think I might just start calling it Microsoft Flight Simulator, I'm not sure. Should I? I mean, it is... Yes, maybe I'll just do that, I don't know. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video, and today, this is not the video that I had planned. You see, the video I had planned was going to be involving a military jet, some mountains and some low-level flying, but unfortunately that is not going to happen today. That is going to have to wait for another video because Sim Update 1 was released not so long ago. In fact, I'm just looking right now at what the clouds are doing. Right. Well, that is strange. I certainly did not have that on the test flight. Okay. Well, that's odd. That was really odd. Anyway, yes, Sim Update 1 has been released, and with it comes a whole raft of, should we say, things that perhaps should have been available or should have been in place when this title was released. I think, anyway. In my opinion, but it has been released, and a whole bunch of performance updates, fixes, lots of bug fixes, stability updates, all of that kind of stuff. I think there are over 1,000 changes, loads of changes to pretty much every single aircraft, a free aircraft as well. I think a freighter, little 185 freighter. I cannot remember exactly which aircraft it is that they have given, but yes, this is an improvement to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I'm just going to fly around and really see what the real world meaning of all this is. So all of these changes, all of these updates, what does it mean? And I have already flown a little bit just to test it, to see if things work. So I've done some 3 or 4 loads, I've done one flight, I've flown around different areas, I've tried a few different things, and so far it looks promising, but that will all come after the intro. Currently I am at Kemble Airfield in the UK, in the Cotswolds. This is where they bring aircraft to destroy, like jumbo jets and stuff, or to keep them, historic aircraft. They bring them here for historic purposes. Where do they destroy them? They might destroy some here, I don't know. Anyway, in the Cotswolds, and my plan today is going to be to fly out of here, fly west towards Wales, perhaps cross the River Severn, take a look around, see what the textures are like, see what improvement there is in the general flying, and then just land it somewhere. I'm just going to find an airport, maybe bring it back here actually, and land it. So make sure you stay tuned, let's get started. And I'm not going to be going through the entire bug fix list or improvements list, change log. It's just far too much to go through, but I will be highlighting some key points that I've seen, and also key points that I have actually experienced. Make sure you stay tuned, and let's get started. Now, just before we take off, one of the things that I just want to highlight here is a really weird thing, and that is, watch my yoke. So, this is all me moving the yoke one-to-one nice and slowly, moving the ailerons, and you'll notice at one point, there, right there, there's a huge increase in the turn of the aileron, and I'm not entirely sure why that is the case. There, again, this is just me smoothly moving it right there. Now, I'm not sure if that is something that a real Cessna does. I don't fly real Cessnas. My aircraft of choice is are Pipers, but I'm not sure if the actual Cessna does this. I do not think it does. It's just a bit weird, and I'm not sure if that actually is translating to actual aileron movement increasing or not, but it's just something that I've found. So anyway, let's get ourselves going off this grass strip. And I do have some slightly squeaky rudders, so do bear with me. And we have a slight crosswind as well that I need to be wary of. But that looks good enough. Up we go. Good. We'll clear up the rudder. Flaps can go in. And let's get ourselves climbing out. So, first thing to note, for those of you who fly airliners, there has been something, a much bigger improvement with the WebAssembly. Now the WebAssembly, some of you might know as WASM. So I know I've been reading a lot of reports about crashes with airliners that are using this WASM WebAssembly modules. That apparently has been improved, so you should be experiencing less crashes now. At least that's what they say that they've done. So they've fixed the performance, or fine-tuned the performance, I suppose, improved the performance, which should make things a lot nicer. I'm not sure if that will actually improve frame rates as well, or just general performance. I think it should, of the airliners, but you can never be too sure. Right, let's go ahead and settle into a cruise. Let's say about 2,000, just about 2,000 feet. I haven't actually set my barometric pressure, although apparently it is just set. All right. Now I don't know what happened with the weather right at the start. That was a little odd, but as I settle into cruising altitude, that's the River Severn up ahead. So we are not going that far overall. I'm going to fly over some of the hills, perhaps fly over, not into Wales, but maybe move back across England, Malvern Hills and that sort of area. I think that should be a nice place to fly. So let's just go ahead and nicely settle with the trim. And this is something that it has been so much easier in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 as opposed to 2020. Trim controls are just so much better. It is far simpler to trim aircraft. So yes, performance improvements there. Now the other thing that I have noticed, which I don't think I saw in the changelog, is that there have been improvements to the loading. I have found that the aircraft, the sim loads better and faster, and in addition to that, the actual, whatever you set up, your free flights, I suppose missions, I do not do missions, but the free flights, whatever you've chosen, does also load a lot faster. And I do mean a significant change here. It is a lot faster. Is that supposed to be a river that is not there? Another thing I'm noticing is that trees do not look quite as big. I'm not sure if that was in the changelog, but trees certainly do not look quite as large. That wouldn't be under any one aircraft fix, that's for sure. The aircraft that has been added, I've just checked, is the Cessna 185. So it was a 185F Skywagon, which is a freighter aircraft, a tail dragger. Might be interesting to try. I might actually try it. Now they do say that they have fixed stutters and memory issues. Now one set of stutters that I know I certainly experience on every single flight I've done thus far is when I come into land. You get to about 500 feet above the airfield, and you start stuttering for some reason as you come into land. Sometimes you just get one, sometimes you get 4 or 5. Just looking at what that building is, It's a building in the middle of nowhere. It's probably supposed to be a farmhouse, but Oto-Chen has got that a little bit wrong. Although it could be a golf club, but I see nowhere where that could be a golf club. Of course, I need to focus on flying the aircraft. So, though I am looking around, I am going to try to focus on flying this aircraft as best as I possibly can. I have not been unfortunate enough to come across any of the issues where random trees are stuck in the middle of, or placed in the middle of runways or anything like that. I have not yet come across any of those, so I have no idea whether that has been fixed. I would assume that would be high up on the list, given the plethora of complaints. That there is the M4. So actually, one thing I'm noticing here is level of detail. Ooh, as we go over the hill, we're getting buffeted around just a little. That's okay. Yes, level of detail is actually quite high here. I would not have expected to be able to have seen that from here prior to this update. Now there should be another bridge somewhere along here. The problem is I can see that bridge, but where's the bridge I'm actually looking for? That should be right here. Unless that is the M48 bridge. No, it cannot be. That's quite a long bridge. That's Wales out there. Right, I need to check this with Navigraph. Navigraph still causes stutters every time you load it up, and for some reason it likes to reset its size. I'm not sure if that's a Microsoft Flight Simulator thing or not. Yeah, there should be a bridge here. Oh no, maybe I am seeing that. I'm seeing the first bridge, the M48 bridge, and not the second. That looks like the second bridge. No, that is the second bridge. Where is the first? The first should be here somewhere. Okay, well that's alright. Ah, there it is. There it is. That bridge there, that's not what it looks like. Okay, it's fine. I'm not going to criticize that. It's a bridge in the UK. I'm not expecting every single bridge to be exactly correct. Is that the M5 below us? Yes, that is the M5. I think I could increase my speed just a touch. I think that is what I will do. And just ease up my fuel flow a little. That way I can get a little bit more power out of this engine. In terms of textures below ground, or below me on the ground, they have improved. Now, I'm not sure what it was that was originally wrong with them, but I did point it out in my first impressions that the textures looked a little blurry for some reason, and it was jarring in a sense because the buildings look sharp, the trees look sharp, and then the textures looks blurry, and that was really quite strange. Now I am glad to say that the textures look fairly sharp, although that's supposed to be a solar farm, and there are trees all over that solar farm. So that is a touch unfortunate. Let's get ourselves lowered down again. Just going across the river, or should we cross the Severn? Should we just stay on this side? I think we'll stay on this side of the Severn. Just retrim the aircraft for the slightly higher speed. And try not to climb. There we go. Flight dynamics in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 are certainly a lot better than 2020. That much is for certain, and you can certainly feel it now. In terms of stutters, so far I haven't had any that I would not put down to graphics. That tree, just those 3 trees look a little out of place there. It is March, so the clouds just built up a little bit more. It is March, so the trees they may not have leaves yet. Some of them will, but a whole bunch of them, if I zoom in, as you can see, are bare. There we go, that is a little better. Just looking around, seeing what I can see. One of the things that has not happened to me in my testing this time around is my controls have not got locked, which has happened in the past, where my controls have got locked for no reason. So that has not happened thus far, which is good. That is really is a good thing. So there have been improvements there, or fixes there. Now, I do not know if that's somewhere along in the changelog, but there we are. Bits more turbulence off the ground. We are 2,000 feet up. I'm guessing there is some thermal turbulence as well with the weather. There was a little bit off that hill as we crossed it, but over here there just appears to be general turbulence. Apparently, career mode has had some improvements. Now, I know that a lot of people have complained about career mode. I refused to go into it because it was so broken. Perhaps it isn't so broken anymore. That being said, something linked to career mode, air traffic control. I tested it. It is still as horrendous as always. I highly recommend never using it. It's just terrible. It sounds like a robot, and it isn't very smart, and it just doesn't know how to say certain things. Just flat out does not work so well. Which way should we go? Just trying to think. Where exactly are we? So that's the River Severn. Obviously, that's Wales. If I continue in this direction, what am I looking for? Probably looking at towards what this is going to be, Gloucester. There's Gloucester. Since we're in Gloucestershire, that's going to be Gloucester. Malvern Hills, Cotswolds. Way out that way would be the Black Mountains. This is going to be I forgot what it's called. I don't know what the Welsh name of it is, but I think it's Brecon Beacons. I do not know what the Welsh name of that is. So yes, not heading in that direction. Now, in terms of frame rates and improvements there, I'm not seeing general improvements to the frame rate per se. What I'm seeing improvements on is the general stuttering of the sim. So there is a perceived improvement of frame rates, but I do not think that it is. I do not think it is the frame rate itself that has been improved, if that makes sense. It's just the fact that because there are less stutters, it just appears that it seems a little better. Shall we go into photo mode and see what we can do with the river behind us? Oh, that could be a nice photo. Not from there though. With a little bit of roll. Just a bit of height. There we go. That could be reasonable. Maybe zoom out a little. It'd be nice to be able to change the aperture. That would be really quite nice. There we go. Take that as a photograph. Ignore the weird little lines that I'm getting around the UI elements. Updated my NVIDIA driver and this happened. It appears to be the case not only in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I'm having it in other things as well. So yes, just ignore that, please. Okay, yes, this looks like Gloucester that we are going over. I guess I could land at Gloucestershire Airport, formerly known as RAF Staverton, I believe. So I could land there if... Yes, that probably is a good place to land. On a completely unrelated note, if I had set up my Transport Fever 2 modded series properly, this is what it would look like had I set it up properly right at the beginning. But alas, I did not, especially with the river, and yes, that is one of my biggest woes in that series. But that is not what we are here to talk about. Now, let's see what else. Is there any other improvements? I'm just reading through the improvements now. Apparently, Sim Update 2 is going to be even bigger than Sim Update 1. So, Sim Update 1 was all about stabilization. Sim Update 2 is supposed to be about expansion. That is what they say, and it looks like it will probably be released sometime in April or May. So we'll have to see what happens there. But just looking through the updates, just looking at all the various different crashes, I have not experienced a crash yet. I have previously, but I have not experienced a crash yet with Sim Update 1. One thing that I have noticed, which is weird, or was weird, is that on one of the flights that I tried, what happened is that I selected a runway, I selected the weather, whatever time of day, selected the runway, pressed fly, and it loaded me in on a different runway. No idea why. Now, it did that twice. Yes, it did that twice. This time around, it loaded me in on the runway that I had requested of it. So I'm not entirely certain what's going on there. I have to say that whether or not this is photogrammetry, I mean, actually that might be photogrammetry. It actually looks great. No, it isn't photogrammetry, but it looks really, really good. Very, very realistic, and that is something that is incredibly impressive. That's the airport. So is there anything else that I need to fly around just to get an idea? Now, I will be doing a little bit more various different things in Microsoft Flight Simulator soon, not just VFR flying in a Cessna on camera. As I said, I'm planning to take out a fast jet, military jet, around some mountains. I'll be doing that hopefully in the next video, and I have a whole bunch of commercial operations things that I also wish to do. That roundabout, by the way, is as nightmarish as it looks. It's the signage on it is weird. I remember driving on that roundabout at some point, and yes, the signage on it is rather weird. Looking out in the distance, I'm trying to see anything that looks out of place. Now, I'm not using DLSS. I am going to try and get DLSS 4 up and running on this and see how it works. And I know that there's a few tweaks that need to be done, but I'm just looking for any weird lines, just anything that looks really, really out of place. And so far, everything looks all right. It really does. So Cotswolds off to that side, Chiltern's off further out that way. Malvern, not there. Where's Malvern? Probably out there. There they are. That's Malvern out that way. Yes, that is. I think I've got that right. I'm just looking at those, just trying to figure out if they are. Yes, those are the Malverns. We do have mountains in the UK, I do assure you. Those are not, those are hills. That's the M5 below. Is that, yes, that is the M5. So that's going that way. Just following us along. Now I'm just doing sightseeing, flying around, VFR flying. So that definitely makes those the Malverns. I'm trying to figure out what the hills are right in front of me. Cotswold's still that way. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what's in front of me. I'm not going to fly all the way over there. But just looking out that way, it does look nice. I think you can just about see some mountains right off in the distance, but that's not what we're currently looking for. I think it's the River Wye here. I'm not entirely certain. I think that might be the Severn actually. But when you're flying, when you're up in the air, things do look a little different. Just bringing up Navigraph. Take a look. Navigraph keeps doing this. I wish it didn't do that. Right. There. It's just double checking my hills. So we're coming up near Tewkesbury. I'm trying to figure out what exactly it is then. But sometimes it does take a moment to recognise things. In a sim, when you're not looking with VR, there's much less of a sense, or much smaller sense of distance. So if you're driving down there, somewhere out here, and you could see that in the distance, or indeed from the other side if you're going up the M5 or down from Birmingham or something like that. But here they look a little small because I'm 2,000 feet, some 20 miles away from them, so it just looks a bit smaller. So it's more difficult to see. Anyway, let's look for an airfield. See what's around, if there is anything nearby. Alright. Give me VFR, please. There we go. Nothing around Malvern. Are there no airfields around this area? I don't want to go all the way there. Is there anything else near Bromyard? Nothing around Bromyard. Am I going to have to do a UE? I think I am. Okay. Or, what I could do... Well, that's a heliport, that's not going to help. Cannot land this as a heliport. What I will do, actually, is I might as well just end this video here. I've shown what I need to show. I will say that I did a landing earlier. I might as well tell you that I'm just looking at these mountains, so there's nothing out there. No, just circling around various different areas trying to point out if there's any aircraft. Right, let's just turn around anyway, but I will end this video. I will point out that I did a landing earlier, and the stutter, I didn't experience any stutter. Now, I'm not sure if that was just a one-off or anything like that, so I will practice a little bit more and see what I can see. Anyway, that is where I'm going to end this video, so thank you very much for watching. That's Wales out there. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video. Just before we end, actually, this is what I mean about the ground textures looking better. Still not perfect, there are still some ground textures that look a little bit off, but on the whole there is a it's much improved. Great improvement between there isn't that much of a disconnect between, if you have a look at that, the textures between the disconnect between the textures and the 3D objects. So that is really good. Anyway, as I said, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Is that the airport? No, somewhere there. Anyway, I'll find it and land off camera. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. Link in the description box below, as are links to my social media and Discord server. That is all from me. That's the Bristol channel out there, and I will see you next time in Microsoft Flight Simulator.